Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back, or welcome to my channel. I don't think I've ever started out a video like this by sitting on top of my truck, but I thought I'd try something out different for you guys today. So it's been almost 2.5 years of me owning this 2019 Toyota Tacoma, and I think about 1 year of making YouTube videos every week on this truck. In a lot of my videos, and probably in most of my videos about this truck, I've showed you guys modifications I'm currently doing on my truck, and I go into pretty deep detail in each of those videos. I show you guys the install, and I pretty much just go into depth about what I'm specifically working on that day on my truck in all of those videos. So instead of just diving really deep today into each specific mod on my truck, I kind of just wanted to do a walk around and show you guys my current build. I'm still going to talk a little bit about each mod, but I'm just not going to get into the nitty gritty of every single mod because I have a lot of videos that already talk about a lot of the mods on my truck. Wow, I am saying mods quite a bit in this video. But I also just don't want to make this video like 2 hours long, so I'm just going to stick to some of the basics. I also want to make a video like this every 6 months or maybe every year or so, just to kind of document my build process, because this truck is constantly changing. We're constantly adding things. The next big project on this channel will be replacing the stock upper control arms with some billet upper control arms by Element Hard Parts. And then I'm also working on some fabrication work for something that's going to go on the truck. So a lot of big things, and I will have a lot more updates in the future, but I just want to show you guys what's currently on the truck right now. Before we get into all of the exterior and interior mods currently on my truck, I wanted to talk about a huge truck giveaway that's happening right now. I kind of mentioned this in my previous video, but Ronin Factory, who's located in San Diego, California, is giving away a 2020 built-up wide-body Raptor plus $30,000 in cash. And yes, this channel is more of a Toyota-based channel or a Tacoma-based channel, but you can't deny that this is an awesome giveaway. Plus, Ronin Factory is partnering for this giveaway with the Wounded Warrior Project, so you'd be supporting a great cause. And what's really, really huge about this giveaway now, and why I'm so excited about it, is because this July 4th and July 5th, they're doing 4 times entries. So for every dollar you donate or every dollar you spend on Ronin Factory's website, you'll get 4 times the entries to win the Raptor plus $30,000. It really is a win-win-win for everyone. I just donated to Wounded Warrior Project through the website, so I'm entered as well, which is really exciting, but it would also be so cool to see one of you guys win as well. So good luck to everyone who enters. Remember, July 4th and 5th are 4 times the entries. I will have a link in the description down below to Ronin Factory's website where you can donate or shop for a chance to win the Raptor in cash. But now, let's get into everything on this truck. Okay, so we're gonna start with the exterior mods on the truck first, because I guess that's what you see when you first walk up to the truck. I think I've kind of built this up to be a beefed up version of how the Tacoma comes stock from the factory. I use this as a daily driver, but I also have done some challenging trails with this truck, so that's sort of my reasoning behind why I built it the way it is, in case you were wondering. So let's start out first with the wheels and tires. So wheels and tires, I've strayed a little bit away from the stock configuration of both the wheels and the tires. In terms of tires, right now I have the BF Goodrich KO2 all-terrain tires, low range C. They're size 265/70 R17. I believe the stock Goodyear Wrangler tires that the truck originally came with from the factory are considered all-season tires, whereas these are all-terrain tires, so they have a slightly more aggressive tread pattern, which have done better for me in some off-road conditions like sand, and they also have a wider contact patch. They are slightly larger and heavier than the stock tires, so there is more rotating weight, which can contribute to worse MPG. But again, I use my truck on the trails as well, so these have been a big benefit for me. In terms of the wheels, I have the 17-inch TRD Pro 4Runner wheels, which are slightly different than the Tacoma TRD Pro wheels, which are 16 inches. These are also slightly different style. They're matte black, which makes them a little bit harder to clean, but they do look really nice. I believe these wheels are a +4 offset. I very much like these wheels, even though they are 1 inch larger than how these stock wheels were. I can still air down my tires enough. I think they look great, and I like that they're an OEM Toyota part, but a lot of you guys asked me if I could get different wheels, what I would get, and I really like method wheels a lot. I love the 701s and 703s especially, so if I didn't have these OEM wheels on, I would definitely get some method wheels. Now, in addition to having these all-terrain BF Goodrich tires, arguably one of the biggest performance mods I've done to this truck is swap out the stock Bilstein suspension for Fox 2.5 race series shocks in the front and the rear of the truck. Now, I have multiple videos on these Fox shocks for both the front and the rear, including how to install them and how I like them, trying them out off-road for the first time. But I think right now they have about 6,000 miles on them and they are awesome compared to stock. Now, these are the stock Bilstein shocks. These are the rear, of course, because the fronts are coilovers on the Tacoma. And I did about 20,000 miles or 2 years with these shocks on, and honestly, these aren't bad shocks that come on the TRD off-roads from the factory. Again, I know this is the rear shock, but if you compare the width of these shocks to the Fox 2.5 shocks, they are a lot smaller, which is not as good for cooling, especially if you're doing off-road at high speeds. I would say that the Fox 2.5 shocks in both the rear and the front are a lot stiffer, and keep in mind, I did adjust the front shocks to lift the front of my truck a little bit to level it out, so that did make my ride quality a little bit stiffer, but that's what I wanted for better off-road performance. In the front here, and like I said earlier in the video, I have these stock upper control arms that came with the truck. Even though I am changing these out, a lot of people were wondering why I didn't change these out when I lifted the front of my truck, and honestly, because I only lifted it 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches, I really didn't need to replace the upper control arms. My caster angle is fine. The new upper control arms will help the caster a little bit, although that's more so for people that lift their trucks a little bit higher, but it still will help this truck. But the main benefit I'm getting out of those is they're just much better constructed than the stock configuration. Another reason I didn't initially change out the upper control arms is because the TRD Pro, or at least all of the TRD Pro models before the 2022 model, have these exact same stock upper control arms, and those trucks are also leveled out or slightly lifted compared to the other trims in the front. But I guess that's all irrelevant now because I am going to be changing them soon. Also, with these 2.5-inch width shocks, I had to relocate the sway bar by putting a spacer so that the sway bar wouldn't rub on the shock because it is a wider width than the stock shocks. Now, one last thing about these Fox shocks is that in the rear, I have a slightly different configuration because I have the remote reservoirs. These aren't the ones with the DSC control, and I don't have remote reservoirs in the front. And I originally kind of didn't want remote reservoirs just because I didn't think I needed them in the rear. But for the 2.5 race series, the lowest trim you can buy from Fox for the rear shocks are these ones. But I really like these rear shocks. The install was really easy because it was all just bolt in, and also I didn't do anything to the rear height of my truck. So I have the stock springs. All I did was put a new shock in, so the rear height of my truck stayed the same. In terms of body armor on my truck, I have two things. This is a front skid plate, and the TRD Off-Roads already come with a front skid plate, but it's steel. But this is the TRD Pro front skid plate, which is aluminum. And like I said before, I take this truck on the trail so you can see how many scratches the skid plate has endured, and I'm so glad I have it because of that. It also has an access plate, which is great, so you can change your oil without having to take off the skid plate, which is really nice. And I probably could have been fine with the stock skid plate, but this one looks really nice. Overall, love this thing, and I think it's super useful for what I do with my truck. I don't have any other skid plates added on, but something may be coming soon. But the last part of body armor I have are really, really useful, and they are my rock sliders. These are from a local company called Fab Zone Armor in San Diego. As far as I'm aware, the only way to reach them is through Instagram, but these guys do amazing work. These rock sliders have saved me so many times on the trails and even in the parking lots too. And actually, someone from work last week told me that they accidentally hit my sliders from opening their door, and I felt really bad because these things will do more damage to other people's doors than they'll get damage themselves. So I felt a little bit bad because it was a coworker I knew. But case in point, these can protect your doors from getting door dings. They're made of DOM steel tubing, and they bolt directly onto the frame, and they're different than step bars, which I used to have on my truck, which actually bolt to the body, not the frame. So these things can support the weight of the truck when you're off-road, which is nice. Underneath the hood, another performance mod I added on to this truck was the TRD cold air intake kit. This is another great one. I get slightly more sound out of this TRD kit, and I also have experienced a small MPG increase, which is nice. That was a pretty easy install. I could probably do it in 10 minutes if I did it again, just because I've done it before, but realistically it'll take about 20 to 30 minutes to do at most. You also don't have to replace the filter, you only have to clean it, which is really nice, so you don't have to buy more filters. And I got it from Sparks Parts, who is an authorized Toyota OEM parts distributor, and I have a 5% discount code you can get on this or really any other OEM Toyota part. Now, continuing on with stuff I've done to the front end of my truck, I've done two things. One of the big things was I swapped out my 2019 grill for a grill that came off of a 2021 Tacoma. The new grill style that's on the TRD Sports and TRD Off-Roads for the 2020 and 2021 models looks really nice. It's kind of a matte dark gray color compared to mine, which was glossy black with a chrome ring around it. I will admit that one was purely for aesthetics, but I really like the way this one looks. One of my first mods and one of the first videos I made on a mod was swapping out my stock halogen fog lights for these Baja Designs off-road LED fog lights. I honestly can't say enough great things about these fog lights and Baja Designs products. The light output of these guys was much better than the light output of the halogen ones, and again, these are SAE approved, so they're street legal fog lights. I have two different types of lenses, but right now the ones I currently have on my truck and I've been running for a while are the clear wide quartering lenses. These are just better for seeing quartering when you're off-road, but I also have the same version but in the amber color, and that color is actually superior in performance when it comes to dust, inclement weather conditions like rain, fog, and snow. I personally just like the look of the clear ones a little bit better. They perform really, really well, but I also have the amber ones always in my truck because they only take about 5 minutes to swap out, so sometimes I swap those out when I'm off-roading at night. Also on the exterior of my truck, one of my more recent mods is this Screen Protect Door Pillar Clear PPF Film Kit, which has hidden a lot of the scratches I've gotten on the vinyl of these door pillars from off-roading. And then last thing before we get into the tailgate mods, I have this gas cap holder from the company Tough Skins. This is really cool because it's rear carbon fiber, and if you don't know, basically the way it works is when you're getting gas, you just put your gas cap right there. And yes, I know you can put your gas cap on this hinge, but doesn't this look really cool? Anyways, I find it easier using this than the hinge. Yeah, it saves me only 1 second when I'm getting gas, but I like it. On my tailgate, inside these stamped Tacoma lettering, I have these added in chrome letters, and these are purely just for aesthetics. I don't see the chrome lettering on too many trucks, but I really like it on this color personally a lot. As you'll see, and as I'm about to show you, I have quite a few chrome accents on the truck. I haven't changed my badges to black, even though a lot of people ask me to. I honestly just like chrome. I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if it's because I'm stuck in the 90s. I was technically a 90s baby, but I don't know if it counts because I was born in 1998, so I don't remember much of it. But I just kind of like the old school look of chrome, and personally on this color, Silver Sky Metallic, I think the chrome does really well. To match my chrome lettering, another thing I have is this chrome exhaust tip. And then in the rear here, I wanted to show you this even though it's kind of a mod that's fallen off. I used to have an American flag tow hitch cover from a company called Flags and Hitches, I believe. I've had this for 2 years now, I think, and unfortunately, this thing came off when I went on a recent off-road trip with another awesome Tacoma YouTuber, Jesse Rizzo. I didn't even realize it, but my departure angle must have sucked, and it took the American flag right off, unfortunately. Another mod I have is inside this tailgate, and you can kind of hear it, so if I unlock the truck, the tailgate unlocks as well. The mod I just showed you was the pop and lock, which gives your tailgate remote locking and unlocking capability because unfortunately from the factory, Tacoma's only manually lock and unlock, so this is just a nice option. Another really big mod, as you can see, is my deck system. So this is just a drawer organization system for someone like me who primarily uses their tailgate for carrying gear and really just off-road recovery equipment. I like the deck system because it helps me stay organized, helps me grab things easily, and it provides locking storage. It has a bunch of cool features like 2 ammo cans on the side, and I was also able to relocate my bed outlet so I can still use that. And while it does eat up some of your bed height, you still have about 1/3 of the height you originally had left, but the surface area of this is completely flat because it goes over the wheel well. So this is actually really nice for camping and putting a larger mattress on, and is honestly just, for me, more beneficial. I'm really happy with my deck because I'm still able to use my Molly panel, which I got from OG Fabrications. It's made of starboard. I can store shovels on it, Molly pouches. I just really like this thing. And then the very last mod I have for the exterior, or the last mod at least I can think of, is probably also the smallest mod as well. It's this hose clamp I put on the pivot point between the tailgate and the actual rest of the truck itself. Now this is for if you leave your tailgate locked accidentally, people can easily remove the tailgate by removing these hinges and then pulling the tailgate and removing it from this pivot point right here. So all this hose clamp does is basically prevents thieves from quickly stealing the tailgate, because they'll also have to remove this in order to remove the tailgate. So just a small extra security feature, super cheap and just super easy, so why not? So now we're gonna get on to all of the interior mods. So there are honestly quite a few in here, so let's start out with some of the smaller ones. First off, instead of the engine start-stop button, I have this TRD start-stop button from Miso Customs. I just thought this one was funny and kind of cool. Another Miso Customs item I have is their, I believe it's called the Ultimate Key Fob. It's basically just a more rugged looking and smaller key fob, which I like. So something I have on my instrument cluster is a product from Screen Protect. The same company that made those door pillar films makes these cluster films, which is really nice because this plastic is so soft and easy to scratch. And this will cover up all the existing scratches, and if this film gets scratched, it kind of self-heals, so you won't be able to see any more of those scratches. So I really like that mod. That came in a kit that had a film for my infotainment screen too, and it also had a film for where the gear shifter is over here. I also swapped these bulbs to be white LEDs. I got them from Tacoma Beast. They came in a kit that swapped these, that light, these lights, and also my license plate lights in the rear. The light output on these is pretty good. It's not great, but I actually prefer that because I don't like bright lights shining on me at night, although it would be nice to have brighter lights for videos and stuff because this interior is pretty dark. Now, arguably the coolest mod and one of the favorites on the channel is my hidden dash cam mod. So as you can kind of see, I have a really small dash cam here. This is the Garmin Dash Cam Mini, but the real magic was this adapter that I got from a company called Dongar Technologies. They basically make an adapter that connects into the back of your mirror for power and gives out power to USB, which is really cool because it allows you to run your dash cam without running any wires. Like a lot of people will plug in their dash cams down here, or they'll have to go through the headliner to reroute the wiring. With this install, it's all hidden behind the mirror, which is really nice. I always forget the dash cam's there. Again, this is a channel favorite, and this product is one of the most genius products I think I have on this truck. I have had no issues with this setup whatsoever. It never overheats, even though we're in the sun in San Diego. And actually, a lot of off-road footage I show you guys that comes out of the front of my truck is footage just coming out of this dash cam. It's a 1080p dash cam. Definitely not the highest quality out there, but considering its size and it's from a reputable company, Garmin, it outputs really great footage. Something else that was useful that I added were these cup holder inserts, and they're actually kind of hard to take out, but they're these really thick foam inserts, and mine's really dirty, as you can see. I use it quite a bit. I got this from Toughskins, who makes a lot of cool Tacoma products, and I'm actually going to install a Toughskins product in this video today because I have one to install and it's going to be really quick and it's awesome. But this is one of the first Toughskins mods that I did, and basically the reason for these is obviously to protect your cup holders and keep them more clean. These will get dirty instead of your cup holders, and also to work, I bring this metal coffee mug that rattles around so much, and it's so annoying when I drive, and this kind of muffles the noise. So these are so helpful for me every single morning. They also come in multiple colors, and they are for the cup holders here, the little random square place, and the cup holder here, and also the cup holder back here. You can also get ones that go in these cup holders as well. Another Toughskins product I have is really subtle. It's over here. I'll give you a second to guess if you can't see it already. But it's this accent above climate control strip. So actually stock, there is nothing here, but Toughskins sells these high quality pieces that adhere with 3M tape, and this is a color match strip to match the exact OEM silver sky metallic color of my truck that I put on here, and it just gives it a very clean look. Again, it's really subtle, but it kind of brings the outside of the truck to the inside. Another color from Toughskins I was considering getting was the TRD red colored strip because I was thinking about going with these kind of black and gray colors along with a red accent, but I think I wanted to keep the inside of my truck simple, so I just got a color matched strip. Another product I got from Toughskins that I partially installed because I wanted to show you guys the rest of the install was these door strip accents, and as you can tell, I got the color matched OEM Silver Sky metallic colors, which is just another subtle color pop that matches the climate control strip. This is another thing I was thinking about getting in red, but I decided to kind of stay on theme with the color of my truck, and it's just really easy to install. It comes in this simple pack. All you have to do is put the black insert in first, and then you peel the backing off and stick the actual color matched or whatever color you got. So super subtle, but I think really cool. One of the biggest changes I made to the interior were getting these custom seat covers. So these were covers that went over my cloth seats. They're made by a company called PRP, who is known for making seats and seat covers for all sorts of off-roading and off-road racing. And these things fit and look OEM for sure. They're made of this marine gray vinyl, and basically the style I got was this dark black with silver stitching that kind of looks white right now, but that's just because I have a lot of light on it. And then I got this brushed aluminum color that kind of looks like the outside OEM color of my truck. Obviously, messes are much easier to clean, and something that has really helped with these specific seat covers is dust cleanup, because dust is something that gets in my truck all the time when I go off-roading, and it's easier to see on this black, and it's super easy to just wipe off because this is vinyl, so the dust doesn't get stuck in the cloth fibers on the actual seats. Another nice thing that these provides are back seat pockets for both sides. And then PRP also sells a center console cover, so I just got a black one with silver stitching to kind of tie the whole look together. And I really like this one because my dog Cody sits in the back here, and he always inevitably puts his chin over here. He can't get further because he does have a seatbelt, but because he's a sheepdog, his beard always gets wet and really dirty, so when he puts his chin here, now I have a cover, so all of that dirt and gross stuff that whatever he's carrying in his fur doesn't actually transfer onto the actual center console. Then speaking of the center console, I got this center console organizer from Amazon. This is a very popular product for the Tacoma. I wish Tacomas came with this stock just because it helps you just grab the stuff you need. Otherwise, well, I guess underneath there I have napkins, but it goes really, really deep and it's just hard to find things. So this top section keeps everything all organized. On the passenger side of my truck, going along with my favorite chrome theme, I added these glove box inserts. You can get ones just like these and ones that are like color matched and have a lot of different color options on Toughskins, but before I knew about Toughskins, I actually picked these up on eBay. Now walking back over to the driver's side for the very last few mods I'm going to show you, I have quite a few things underneath my driver's side seat. So let me start with the foundation of everything. First of all, I have these seat jackers, and if you don't know what seat jackers are, they basically are just spacers that lift the front of the seat up to make your seating position more comfortable. But I also really like them because they provide more room underneath the seat so that I can mount stuff. As you can see, the mount I have here is from the same company who makes the seat jackers, which is Desert Does, which, by the way, fantastic company, such great people behind it, founded by Tacoma owners like you and me, and they really make top quality products. What I have here is their under seat air compressor mount, and as you can see, this button here says ARB, and only when the truck's ignition is on, which it's not on right now, I actually have an ARB air compressor there that's all wired up all the way to underneath the hood where the battery is, and by pressing the switch it allows you to connect an air hose and actually fill up tires or use an air compressor for whatever you want. So I like how stealthy this is, and also as you can see on this mount, I'm not even using it to mount anything, but you can mount stuff on it, which is really cool. So that's a really cool kit. It's a really clever location for an air compressor, and I absolutely love it. And then also attached to the seat jackers I have this panel. This is a panel also made by Desert Does. I believe it's called the multi-mount panel. And then I also have their quick drop mount, which mounts to the multi-mount panel, and it allows you to pull a pin, and when you have a fire extinguisher attached, you can easily and quickly get it if you absolutely need to. So overall, quite a few things going on underneath that seat here, but I like how it's all kind of contained, and it's all really useful and kind of recovery stuff. And on top of that, it makes the seating really comfortable. So those were all of the exterior and interior mods on my truck. I didn't count, but I think that there was like maybe 30 or 40 different mods on the truck, which is honestly quite a bit. I always feel like I have some mods, but my truck is still close to stock form. But I guess after 2 years of building up mods pretty slowly and having some small mods, some big mods over a stretch of time, I didn't realize how many mods I had. I know in some of my other videos I've showed you guys my recovery equipment, like my jack and my traction boards, but I decided to keep that out of this video because I strictly wanted to show you guys the mods instead of all the equipment I have in my Tacoma plus the mods. But let me know if you saw a mod on my truck that I missed in today's video. Thanks for watching and thanks for making it to the end of this video, and also big thank you to those who have been following me for a long time, ever since I kind of started this YouTube journey in the past year. Honestly, making this video was a little bit nostalgic to me because it took me back to my days of some of my earlier mods that I haven't talked about in a while, so that was really cool. We've also had a lot of new subscribers to the channel, so welcome and thanks so much for your support. It means so much and I'm so excited for all of my future Tacoma projects. Also, don't forget to check out Ronin Factory for a chance to win that awesome Raptor and $30,000 in cash. I'm honestly crossing my fingers, but good luck to everyone else who entered. If you want more content, I also have an Instagram where I post more Tacoma stuff. It is at ChloeKuoTaco. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!